Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, the Wise Guy, and today is January 11th, 2025. I thought I would make a little video going over myself a little bit today because as I see this channel growing, I see that there are genuine curiosities surrounding my goals and my intent here, so I figured I would help lay out for everyone and kind of reveal a few more details about myself so y'all aren't sitting here wondering who the hell is this weird bearded guy. If you normally enjoy news, history, and Americana, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Citizen Bell, take your shoes off. First, my intro and exit, the Citizen Bell and take your shoes off. And then at the end, y'all come back now, you hear? To my younger viewers, this is in reference to a show that used to be on the television back in the day called the Beverly Hillbillies. And it was about a family of hillbillies who, while hunting for dinner, the patriarch of the family, Jed Clampett, instead hit an oil well, and they got rich, and they moved west, where the culture shock of both they and the upscale modern living of Los Angeles kind of run the plot of the whole show itself. Back in the day, I remember it was pretty funny, and I used to watch it with my parents a lot as a kid. And not long ago, my wife got military orders out here in California, so we moved from where I had been born, raised, in deep red Florida, my home state, of the incoming president as well. And we traveled west, not far from LA. The premise of the Beverly Hillbillies just kind of stuck with me on that. So if you were ever curious where that came out of, there you go. I'm sure a lot of my more seasoned viewers are very familiar with the program, although I must say that I have never been privy relishing in black gold nor Texas tea. Nor are we by any means as rich as the Clampetts are. We're just an average military American family trying to get by just like everybody else. Other thing that I kind of want to go over is the way that I actually present these videos, because I understand the desire for more polished speakers like Kyle Kalinske or Sam Cedar, and conversationally I love being able to go back and forth. But when I'm just making videos like this on myself, I'm kind of have a tough time organizing my thoughts appropriately to just kind of hit the record button and run off of the cuff. So there are some times where in my videos you may see me reading or my eyes moving back and forth like this as if I'm reading. I'm going to be fully honest here. I'm reading my notes, but full disclosure, every single one of them is from me, just prior to actually filming anything. This is a method for me to stay on track with my videos, and it helps me with greater details like precise numbers when talking about dollar amounts, dates, what have you. But I assure you, even with my notes here, it's all me. I write, I record, I edit, I upload 100% of the content on this channel. It is all me and will continue to be as far as I can tell. I'll always let you know if this ever grows to be anything more, but if you're ever worried about my style or feel like I almost break that fourth wall of presentation, I apologize. I will try and improve on that in time, but for the moment it is best that I am able to provide more accurate information that isn't garbled by diatribes or rants. More often than not, the subjects that I cover are highly in detail, but I have to kind of like find a way of generalizing it. And if I were to go without any of the notes that I have and the organization and the framework, the number of digressions on my part would be overwhelming on yours. So consider it a way for me to stay on track and to keep me on a leash as far as details of a lot of things are concerned. You may also notice behind me all of the nerd memorabilia. Keep in mind, I love Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, anything that's basically nerdy. So, what can I say? It's a part of me, and I'm not going to let go of it. I have seen some people who say that they would probably take me more seriously if I didn't have a bunch of toys in the background. But if that's the case, I feel like that's kind of a shallow way of approaching these things, and To be quite honest, I don't care. I I love what I have. These are the small things that I collect. They're my knickknacks, my tchotchkes, if you will, and they make me me. And so, who cares? I like them. You don't have to. Keep in mind, some of those back there I have had since I was a child. And if you can see this one right here, it's kind of hard to see. That is Trinity from the first Matrix running on the wall as they were getting pew-pewed. And I actually have Neo from that scene on the other side of this entertainment center. So I'm actually going to be putting more of that in my background as well because I don't really like the white blankness over here. I feel like there could be a lot more color, a lot more character on my part. So I'm going to be working on that here in the near future as well. So stick with me because I just got a delivery from my cousin Jenna today, whom I love dearly, and I was not expecting. But let's just say there's going to be a lot more in the background of my videos here in the coming future because of her. Third, the disorganization at the moment. Some of my videos are a little random, and I totally understand that. And as this project grows, I wish to offer more playlists with more topics that aren't as widely accepted or understood by a number of my fellow Americans. You'll notice that one day I may go on a deep dive into current events or politics, and then the next video is the contributions of Black Americans between, I don't know, the Reconstruction period through World War I. Spoiler. That is because some of the topics that I talk about deserve a much more detailed expose on my part, and they deserve a lot more time and focus. Exemplifying that Black American history list that I have at the moment, there's one thing that has failed me as a student growing up, and that is, as an American in general, a lot of the things that were left out in my teachings were the contributions of all Americans to this country, not just people who look like me. There was a drastic lack of information in regards to Black, Asian, South Pacific Islander, Hispanic, Native American, all of these wonderful people who have come together to shape us into who we are. And it was left out in the history books in my schools. And once I had gotten into the military and I was fortunate enough to live with people from all around the world, I learned just how amazing everyone's individual stories were. And it dawned on me that even then, that so few and far between, are there even mentioned annotations of other members of society who have helped create this country as it is today. And some of it didn't come from white Anglo-Saxons or Protestant Caucasian people. Indeed, if anything, it was at every turn that those members of society who did not happen to fit those descriptions were held back or sometimes snuffed out entirely before their stories could even begin. And then I traveled around the world and I met more people and I heard more stories, and I eventually came back just completely done with unintentionally looking over all of the colors that painted this masterpiece that we know as America. And while I may not be able to provide a college course on these subjects, I do know that I can shed some light on a lot of those stories here that many aren't aware of. And that is kind of what I aim to do. I want even the smallest of anecdotes or storylines to grab a hold of people who haven't yet discovered them, and I hope it pushes them into looking deeper into these things. If I can just show one person the light and they can go forward changing the views of other people in their lives, then I feel like I've contributed even in a small, healthy way to the American experience. That's all. I'm not trying to have some huge celebrity presence. I'm not trying to get rich. Just kind of want to help hungry minds feed. I only want to be a conduit of information. I'm not asking for anything complicated here. I just hope sincerely that I can deliver in any small positive ways. I'm an American. I have only took one oath in my life, and that was to the Constitution. When I say that, I don't mean that I intend on bastardizing it to fit my hateful narrative. Instead, I wish to demonstrate how this country has always been its best when we were fighting for decency instead of resentment. I recognize the dark times that we face now, and a lot of people really wish this wasn't the reality, and that things were different. And many of you may even wish that none of this had ever happened to you, and that the responsibilities that are now laid at your feet in our nation's history never came to you. And instead, you wish it wouldn't have been some other generation that could have dealt with this. And if I may use one of my favorite quotes of all time from any literature, it's from Gandalf, when he said to Frodo,
"So do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All you have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to you."
So I only ask you, now, as my fellow Americans and nerds, what are you going to do with the time that is given to you? Myself, I think I'm going to keep trying to help everyone in the coming years to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay decent. I want to thank all of you sincerely for hanging in there with me so far, and know that the only real motivation that I get are from the awesome commentary that I've received from all of you in the comment sections. I just hope you all know that sincerely, bottom of my heart, thank you. It really is good to have you all here. And I hope you can stick in here with me as far as you find me useful. So, until next time.
Y'all come back now. Here.